You probably know someone like this. No matter how badly people treat them, no matter how much disrespect or humiliation they face, they still stay loyal to the person they love. And honestly, at some point, they stop looking like a human being and start looking like a loyal dog who would sacrifice everything for its owner. Sounds impossible, right? Well, the man in today's movie is even worse. This Batman-looking guy allows his wife to date other men just to keep her from leaving him. Even when she openly flirts with them right in front of him, he pretends not to notice. And somehow, he still cooks dinner for her with his own hands. But the craziest part? Melinda doesn't just have one lover. Her admirers are everywhere. Anyone would ask, can someone really be this calm and spineless? But if you look closely, you'll realize something important. The harder you pull a spring, the harder it snaps back. Today's movie is deep water. And trust me, this movie is basically a deadly battle between Batman and a ballerina. Ana de Armas shocked audiences with some seriously bold scenes in this film. So let's jump straight into the story. The movie begins in a wealthy neighborhood in America. Ben used to be an engineer who designed military drones for the army. After earning a massive fortune, he retired at a very young age. But deep inside, he's still just a quiet nerd. Ben is extremely introverted. He doesn't enjoy socializing and has become used to silently enduring stress. To distract himself, he rides bicycles and raises snails. Yes, snails. Ben admires how stubborn they are, no matter how high the wall is. They slowly climb it without fear just to find their partner, guided only by scent, and honestly, that perfectly reflects Ben himself. Like a snail hiding inside its shell. Ben hides his soft heart beneath a quiet and emotionless exterior. But fate played a cruel joke on him, because his wife Melinda is the complete opposite. She loves excitement, adventure, attention. At parties, she openly flirts with other men without caring how Ben feels. What should I wear tonight? This one. Or this one? Ben quietly replies, you look beautiful in anything. What about the shoes? The black ones you bought in New York. Their personalities couldn't be more different. Even though Melinda still loves Ben, she's completely bored with his quiet lifestyle. And because Ben desperately wants to keep his family together, and because he loves his daughter, he accepts an unspoken agreement. As long as Melinda doesn't leave him, he'll tolerate everything, but giving someone unlimited freedom often creates a monster. That night at a party, Melinda crossed every limit right in front of Ben. As far as Ben knew, this was already her second lover, because the previous guy had mysteriously disappeared. Melinda casually introduced her lovers as friends, and even invited them home for dinner. Poor Ben had to sit there pretending to be friendly. Then suddenly, Ben calmly asked the guy, have you ever heard of Martin McRae? The man who disappeared? The guy nodded nervously. Ben stared at him and quietly said, I killed him. Nobody knew whether Ben was joking or telling the truth, but the terrifying calmness on his face was enough. The guy got scared and disappeared from Melinda's life almost immediately. Melinda became furious because she knew Ben could never hurt anyone. This was obviously just another one of his creepy lies. To punish him, she invited the guy over again and forced Ben to cook dinner for him. Even though Ben was boiling with jealousy, he still prepared the meal perfectly. But Melinda kept mocking him. Sometimes I think you're not normal. Ben calmly replied, if I were normal, that man wouldn't be sitting at our dinner table right now. No matter what, Melinda said. At least the guy ran away in fear. But Ben made one huge mistake. His fake murder story started spreading among their friends, and eventually, it caught the attention of a writer obsessed with stories about love and murder. Things got even worse when Melinda found yet another young boyfriend, and once again, she brought him home during a party. Ben tried to ignore it like always, but fate enjoys torturing quiet people. Late that night, Ben couldn't find Melinda anywhere. Then he looked outside toward the swimming pool, and what he saw completely shattered him. Under the green glow of the pool lights, Melinda and the young man were openly making out. Right in front of him, The boy even looked at Ben with complete disrespect, but he had no idea. That silent humiliation was finally enough to break Ben's patience. Later, while Ben entered the pool himself, heavy rain suddenly began pouring down. Everyone rushed back inside the house. At the same moment, fresh cookies came out of the oven. Ben calmly ate cookies with everyone else. The only strange thing, his hand accidentally got burned on the hot tray. A little later, Melinda realized her boyfriend had disappeared, and suddenly, someone screamed. The young man's dead body was found floating in the swimming pool. Police quickly arrived and started investigating. But Ben was shocked when Melinda immediately accused him of murder. She believed Ben had killed the boy out of jealousy. Even the writer suspected him. So police began questioning Ben. "Did you kill him, Mr. Ben?" But Ben quietly showed them his burned hand. "When everyone went inside because of the rain, I touched the hot tray while taking cookies." That burn became his perfect alibi. And just like that, Ben escaped suspicion. But deep down, Melinda still believed he was the killer. Meanwhile, Ben realized someone was following him. It turned out the writer had hired a private investigator to spy on him. Ben confronted the writer angrily, but the writer denied everything. Unfortunately for him, Ben already had proof. He showed him a bank transfer from Melinda's account to the writer's account. The writer finally admitted the truth, but instead of stopping, things only became worse. Because Melinda quickly found another boyfriend. This time, Ben completely snapped. One day, he invited the new boyfriend on a friendly trip outside the city. The man trusted him and got inside Ben's car without hesitation. But once they reached a lonely area, Ben attacked him with a rock, again and again, until the man stopped moving forever. Then Ben tied the body with stones and dumped it into the river. And the terrifying part, he felt completely calm afterward, almost as if he had done this before. Because yes, Ben had also murdered Melinda's previous boyfriend. Slowly, his obsession was turning into madness. Surprisingly, after the boyfriend disappeared, Melinda started getting emotionally closer to Ben again. She even went camping with him outside the city. For the first time in a long while, they actually looked happy together, but fate wasn't finished yet. The exact place Melinda chose for camping was the same place where Ben had hidden the body. And because the corpse had stayed underwater for too long, it had started floating back to the surface. Luckily, Ben somehow managed to hide the situation. That night, Melinda finally returned to him emotionally. The next morning, Ben rode his bicycle outside the city to dispose of the body permanently. But bad luck struck again. The writer accidentally spotted him. The moment he realized Ben was guilty, he rushed toward the police station. Ben knew one thing. If the writer reached the police, his entire family would be destroyed. What followed next became one of the craziest scenes in the entire movie. A deadly race between a bicycle and a car. Ben used dangerous shortcuts through the forest to stop him. Meanwhile, back at the house, Melinda entered Ben's snail room and discovered her missing boyfriend's ID card. Finally, everything became clear after a long silence. Melinda made her final decision. At the same time, the writer suffered a terrible accident. Ben finally relaxed. As the morning sunlight appeared, he quietly rode back home. Because once a person disappears into darkness, there's usually no way back. When Ben returned home, Melinda was waiting for him at the door. But something had changed. Instead of exposing him, she decided to destroy all the evidence, maybe after seeing how far Ben was willing to go for her. Melinda finally understood the truth. His terrifying obsession was his twisted version of love. And strangely enough, that was exactly what she'd been searching for all along. Deep down, Melinda wasn't just rebellious. She was starving for love and attention, and despite all her affairs, her eyes were always searching for Ben's reaction. She wanted proof that he truly cared. That's why she constantly pushed him to his limits. As for Ben, some people may see him as weak, but he wasn't weak. He was simply a quiet man desperately trying to protect his family. But silence has limits. And once those limits break, silence turns into madness. This movie also teaches us something important. Being quiet doesn't mean being weak, and avoiding problems never creates peace. A healthy relationship should never be based on fear, control, or one-sided sacrifice. People need communication, understanding, honesty, because sometimes living together like strangers is far more dangerous than fighting. And that's where this terrifying story finally ends.